You know the story of King Kong, right? The giant ape, the beautiful woman, the the tragic fall from the skyscraper. But what if that whole epic tale isn't really about a monster at all? What if, when you peel back the layers, it's actually a story about, well, about us? We're going to decode this legend, and I think you'll find the battle it reveals is one you know all too well.
So at the very end of the movie, this is the line we're left with. This is the official cause of death. And it sounds nice, right? It's poetic. But maybe it's a little too neat. What if the very thing we're told is the reason for the tragedy is actually just a cover-up for something much, much deeper?
So let's just ask it, straight up, was he right? Was it really beauty that killed the beast? Because digging into that one question might just change the way you look at your own battles, your own struggles.
Okay, so to really get what happened up there on that skyscraper, we have to stop seeing this as just a movie. We have to look at it like a map of our own minds. Because every single character, they're not just characters, they're a symbol for a powerful force that lives inside every one of us.
So let's start with the big guy himself, Kong. Kong is our true self. He's that raw, powerful, untamed potential that we all have deep down inside, before the world tries to tame it and put it in a box. He is the king of our own personal Skull Island.
And then you have Anne Darrow, the beauty. She stands for our gentleness, our vulnerability, our capacity for compassion. She's that soft, beautiful, and incredibly precious part of ourselves that our inner Kong just instinctively wants to protect at all costs.
And the airplanes? Oh, we all know the airplanes. They are that buzzing, relentless swarm of criticism. The voices from the outside world telling you you're not good enough, that you should play it safe, and maybe even more powerful, that nagging voice inside your own head that agrees with them.
And finally, we've got Carl Denham, the filmmaker. He's our ambition. He's that part of us that discovers our inner Kong and says, wow, let's show this to the world. But here's the catch. He's also the one who brings the chains.
All right, so with these symbols in our back pocket, let's go straight to the climax. Let's replay that incredible final scene on the Empire State Building, but this time, let's look at it through this new internal lens. It's a battle within.
So just picture it. Our true self, our inner Kong, finally makes it. He's at the absolute peak of success, literally on top of the world. But instead of it being a moment of triumph, he finds himself totally exposed. In that moment, he's not a king anymore. He's just a target.
And right here, in this moment of absolute crisis, our true self makes a profound choice. And it reveals this incredible secret about what real strength is. It's not about what you have the power to destroy. True strength is measured by what you choose to protect when you are at your most vulnerable.
I mean, just think about that conflict for a second. With one hand, he could literally crush those airplanes of criticism out of the sky. Total destruction. But with his other hand, he so carefully chooses to shield his own gentleness, his Anne. All that immense power isn't used for brute force. It's used for gentle, precise protection. But in the end, the swarm of criticism was just too much. That peak of success offered zero shelter. And here's the thing. He wasn't brought down by one single bullet or one single mean comment. He was defeated by the sheer volume of them, by a relentless, non-stop storm of judgment. So, after our true self falls, our ambition, Denham, steps in and delivers that final famous line. But was he right? Or was something else, something much deeper, really to blame? Let's do a little investigation.
Okay, theory number one. Let's take the official story. Could it be that protecting his gentleness, his vulnerability, his Anne, is actually what made him weak? Was his compassion the one fatal flaw that led to his own destruction? It's a tough question.
Or how about theory number two? Maybe we just can't trust the storyteller. I mean, was ambition just trying to get out of trouble here? Was he just spinning a convenient story to cover up the fact that he's the one who created this whole tragedy in the first place?
But this leads us to a third theory, and maybe this is the most powerful one. What if it wasn't the airplanes? And it wasn't beauty at all? What if the real cause of death was the chains? The chains that dragged him away from the only home he'd ever known. And the fact that he was forced to climb a skyscraper that was never his mountain to begin with.
The story never gives us a clean, definitive answer. And honestly, that's the whole point. Because this was never really about a giant ape. It's about us. The real power of this legend is that it's a mirror, forcing us to ask some really tough questions about ourselves.
So, first question for you. What are the airplanes in your life? Which voices of criticism, and remember, they can be from the outside or the inside, are you allowing to just circle you day in and day out?
And what about your skyscraper? The big goal you're chasing, the ladder you're climbing, is it truly your own mountain? Or are you just climbing a concrete tower that somebody else told you was important?
And as you're fighting all your battles out there, maybe the most important question of all is this one. In the middle of all the noise and all the climbing, are you remembering to protect that beautiful, vulnerable part of yourself? Have you put your Anne in a safe place?